Yo, happy Friday, y'all. I'm just reading this news in the chat from Martin. Big ups, dude. Big ups. This is awesome. If you did not see the news, in the Discord, there's no feedback today, but you can still hang out. It's cool. I'm going to make some music. I'm still waiting for hearing to return to the left side of my face. Yeah, still no feedback. I mean, I can hear. I can't hear well. I can hear all right on this side. I feel like I'm like 96% on this side. I'm good. I would feel good about giving feedback on this side. Unfortunately, y'all make sounds on both sides of the stereo spectrum. And right now, like this side sounds good. This sounds like it's, I don't know, being filtered through some cheese or something. What if we just mix things in mono? I don't know, maybe. There's definitely like a cloudiness to the sound. There's absolute obfuscation. It's not quite underwater, but it's being filtered through something thick, like some yogurt or something. No, I'm just kidding. Not that bad. I need to go check my Discord. Hold on, just a second. I've got some DMs from some folks. I'll follow up with y'all as quickly as I can. Hey, I knew that was going to be the name. Martin, this is fantastic. And we knew this, yes? Yes, we knew this. We knew this was coming. Oh, Lou D is gonna buy me some new ears. Hey, can we just fix these, like recondition these? Because I actually I don't want. Hold on, where's my volume? I should probably turn this down. I can't really judge my vocal volume in relation to some things very well right now. I just walked in the door, like just a few minutes ago. I just walked in the door from this event at my kid's school where they're like, it's a big, like, it's like a track and field day kind of. It's called the Foxtrot Day. Anyway, so I'm out there like rooting everybody on. I'm yelling, and like halfway through it, I'm realizing like, oh, I wonder if I'm that guy. I wonder if I'm that guy right now that's like yelling super loud, but I just can't tell. I'm not sure if I was or not, still to this very moment. But I'm not sure if I want those Amazon quality ears. No offense to the people that sell ears on Amazon. I'm sure y'all make some fine ears, but I was blessed with ears that are not in that normal category. And I'd really like for my ears to come back to where they were before the COVID rained down on them. I'm really hoping that happens soon. My kid's hearing has basically returned this week, and we are guessing that we are at least 2 weeks behind him. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be another 2 weeks, but it does give me a whole heck of a lot of hope that this thing will resolve and leave me mostly unchanged. So, hell yeah, hard work paid off, Martin. Dedication. Man, I'm telling you, I am a broken record of sorts amongst my friends. They send me, and I have very talented friends, so they send me tracks, and they're like, oh, this is going to be released on Friday. What do you think? And I'm like, there are so many times where I've said, this is too loud. Like, this is not as enjoyable as when you were sending me your works in progress. Like, it's kind of an assault on the ears, and I really want to be able to turn this thing up. And it's incredible just how often it can go either way. Like when it gets to the label, if it's going to be too loud, or if it's or if it's going to be just right, or what. But I feel like I'm a bit of a broken record with a lot of my friends over the past several years. Sorry, you got an oversaturated one, man. The loudness check pick is in the public lounge. I want to see. Oh, yeah, that's incredibly loud. That's just, it's alarmingly loud. Oh, you have premium ears. You have access to premium ears. This is amazing. Agnos, how are you, homie? Let's see who's here. I forgot to do this. Ludi, welcome in. Martin, welcome in. And big ups. Saffron, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Agnos, again, sir. That's off to you, sir. Jafar, how the hell are you, brother? Javar reading this comment, like the one time I played drums while on certain now legal influences, I thought I was normal, but the other guys in the band at one point turned around and stared like, dude, you're so loud. Oh, this image, the luffs that Martin's track was mastered to, I'm just going to zoom in for dramatic impact. Neg 3, Neg 4. That's so loud. That's so loud. Everyone, Rokusai is here. We can begin now. Saf. Oh, that's such a horrible feeling when you spend a good chunk of money, you get some work done, and you get it back, and you're disappointed. That's hard. That's hard. Oh, you guys are great. Squashed. Squashed. Oh, you would not believe the lovely feedback that we're continually getting from people about the loudness standard, like just how good things sound in ADD, like all the mixes and everything. And I'm like, yeah, don't buy any of that corny shit. Oh, Saf, you know, dude, though, it takes two to tango. Seriously. Because if you sent me something that was horribly mixed, I probably wouldn't master it. I'd say, hey, let's fix this first. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a two-way street, homie. Oh, no, now Roku stuff, too. Oh, Roku. You know, I can listen to that. Plus 10 loves. Oh, all of my love standards are far below the broadcast standards and streaming standards. So, or more in line with broadcast, but definitely below streaming standards. And man, does that help. Man, oh man, does that help. Everything sound good. It's a good thing. And Dremia, you are here. And yeah, same, dude. Same. I've been thinking about you a lot lately, man. Because I've been hearing all my stuff differently and not being able to give, you know, really good feedback to people and whatnot. It's just a massive impact. And kudos to you and everything that you do, in spite of the challenges. Agnosa, as you should. This is like, this is a moral backbone thing, really, when it gets right down to it, right? Like, you want to do good stuff, You operate in good ways. That's how I see it. Good on you. Roku sliding into home with the nothing is unfixable with OTT. Martin, been bouncing stems for days. He's like, I have super stiff neck, so I'm looking at things at an angle. It's like walking through the world like this. We go visit him in his pad, and his TV is like at an angle. Everything's just at an angle. It's gotta suck for not like spilling your coffee and stuff. You know what I mean? If like your table's at an angle too. I don't know where that stops. Massive mentioned. Massive. Massive? Massive. Y'all remember the years where you would tune into whatever I was doing and you could pretty much guarantee that Massive was going to be, you know, like at least 50% of it? I remember that. Well, thank you. These are all tracks that I've made in ADD. Well, my hearing has been borked, and I haven't been able to do a whole lot of stuff to the same degree that I normally do. So I'm hoping that the mixes are all right and that this all translates. But these are all just some tracks that are going into the new documentary music pack that will be released soon. I think it's scheduled for like mid-June. So probably like 4 weeks from now or something like that it will come out. And I don't know how many tracks will be in it. I looked on the last stream and I was kind of blown away because Volume 1 actually had 90 tracks in it. I don't remember being that belligerent, like being that... I don't remember making that many. I'm not sure how many of those are mine, because I do remember other people kicking in. It was a pretty big release. Let's see if we can find that really quick. Okay, so there's 31 here. Okay, so I'm actually not that far off target. There was just a really big contribution. Okay, so I think I want to say I've got like 25 tracks or something like that for this already. There's 24 in here, but I think a couple of these projects might be corrupted because I'm also making them all in the latest internal builds of ADD, so it's not entirely stable all the time. And I think I've probably lost a couple of projects in the process, but it's all in the pursuit. You hate the massive UI. I remember you saying that many moons ago. Oh, Javar. Yeah, I'm just reading this this thing in the chat from you. I'm trying to throw an outfit together so I can start shooting some vids for my tracks. I think I'm going to go for kind of toned down Gary Newman look, post-apocalyptic time traveler or something or other. Otherwise, I'm going to invent the Old Man at Burning Man clothing line. That's great. That's great. Liv is here. Everybody follow Cario Party. I hear that you've been working with Tom and that your mixing skills are being recognized, and rightly so. I bet you everyone here is a better mixer than they were a couple years ago because all y'all are freaking dedicated. Scruffy Rico's here. How you doing, homie? You dislike waves, but you still use it. Same. Same. I've been using like waves meter all the time because in audio design desk because we don't have a bunch of meters built yet. Man, I'm getting excited about building some new plugins. Sounds a little emo, Javar. It's all good though. I'm in it. Raiden's Phoenix is here. How you doing, homie? Well, Tom and I talk all the time, so. We've been known to have video calls in the morning before live streams, even like on a regular basis, you guys. I know all your secrets, Lou. Yeah, it's fun to, it's right, Ognos? It's nice to have like a nice cool mix of all the synthetic and organic stuff, just kind of. It's like this moody soup, you know? Super plate from Sound Toys. Oh. Scruffy Rico just discovered Falcon. Congratulations, and wow. Yeah. Heidi's here. Whoa! How are you? Happy Friday. Fucking Blue Angels. Man, my whole life with the Blue Angels. Liv, I am pro you. You are awesome. You're just here for a bit today? I am, by the way, I am so very pleased that you are hearing from someone that your mixing skills are on point, and I'm also so very happy on the inside that you and Tom have connected and you're going to start cooking some stuff up. So what is Super Plate all about? Is it just like a super flexible plate reverb from Sound Toys? And do I already have it? In the... I can't remember which one I have from them. If it's the... I would actually have to log into my account and look and see if it's the I get everything as it comes out thing or not. Slippery Haze! How y'all doing with Party of 24? Happy Friday to y'all. I'm not doing the normal Feedback Friday thing right now, so sorry to disappoint. But we are sitting here chilling, listening to some music that I've made over the past week. My ears are kind of fucked. I had COVID and it left me kind of deaf on the left, and it's like slowly coming back. So no feedback. How was your stream? What y'all get up to today? Cook up some heat? Better than Valhalla plate, you say? Oh, Scruffy Rico, thank you. This is just these music packs that I'm putting together, like inside of Audio Design Desk. It's just basically throwing pieces of stuff together that we've been adding to the library for the past few years. So, like, I'm fairly, like, intimately aware of what is in all of these different sounds. So it happens quicker and quicker and quicker the more times you use the library and the more content you build for it, the more you can get out of it. It's flipping incredible. Knock out like a dozen tracks in a day like this. And it's nice. Oh, Javar. The big version of Little Plate. Mario? How the hell is Mario, man? I miss that cat. What's he up to? Mario, come play with us. Well, if Mario said that it's better than Valhalla Plate, I'm going to assume... I'm going to assume that my man is talking like holistically, musically, and straight sound design wise, perhaps. I think it's Super Plate they're talking about, something like that. Oh, you're here. I can't remember if I said hi to you or not. Hi, how are you? Okay, so Scruffy Rico's thinking about doing some stuff with Taxi. What's the vibe with Taxi? All right, well, when last I checked in with Taxi, it hasn't really changed much over the years. A lot of people have access to it, so you'll see a whole bunch of opportunities. You submit stuff to it, and you kind of wait. And if I remember correctly, there's like a submission fee for this kind of thing, and you're not going to hear back a lot unless you're really aligned, really well aligned with the project. So kind of keep that in mind. Don't go out and submit to 100 different things and expect like 80 responses, because there's a lot of people submitting to all sorts of stuff. You can also, I believe, they have a like supplemental service or offering of some kind where your stuff can be actively pitched somehow. I can't remember the specifics of it. But I've heard some people having pretty darn good experiences with it. They're fairly dedicated to it, and I've heard from plenty of folks that are not as serious. That it's just kind of shooting in the wind. You know what I mean? Like every once in a while you might get something, but usually not. Hognose. Mario is also from the Pirafam tribe. Another Piramind person. Student turned instructor. He was kind of my Padawan when I was there. It's good. Very good. Had a few. Mario's great. They have an arrangement where if you want to give them money, they'll take your money. It's nice. Scruffy, your stuff, man, if you had a portfolio, just a royalty-free portfolio, and you let people pay you to use your stuff in their projects, they would. And you would probably have pretty steady downloads because you've got good sound. You can also shop your stuff around for some like boutique placement agencies, right? Like they have they kind of amass a library through curated artist collections, and then they shop those tracks around to their clients, and they usually have pretty steady returns, pretty consistent returns on the boutique side of things. And of course that's outside of the royalty-free stuff. Now you're talking royalties. So it's a bit more coin, a little less action. But for you, I would say I would go more in that direction. I would split my inventory, if you will. I would keep the really top shelf choice stuff in a boutique relationship, like in one, maybe two libraries. Like it's great if you can have an exclusive relationship with someone that is really actively engaged with their clients, because they'll move your stuff if they really like your stuff. They would move your stuff into a lot of projects because it's so supportive and like full of like this feeling of like potential and growth and good. You know what I mean? So, and that vibe is always going to do well. There's lots and lots and lots of brands that align with those kind of feelings, you know. And you got a really great balanced sound too. So, so I would put all the other stuff into a basic royalty-free um, portfolio, or shop it around to some of the subscription services for royalty-free licensing. Because in that realm, you're talking about a fair shake at like pretty consistent and steady buyout arrangement where you're getting a pretty good influx of income from the tracks that you're generating. And some of the subscription models will actually employ you basically, like you full on have um, like access to benefits and stuff, um, and then you're basically just producing. And they keep that stuff in the library, you know. Top shelf music. It's sold on a USB inside a fancy liquor bottle. Yeah, you got to finish stuff, right? You've been knocking out a lot of really, really good stuff, man. Yeah, for real. Well, should I make something? Maybe I should make something. We're just sitting here talking and talking and talking. We could do that while I'm making something, right? Or should we just keep talking? Should we just talk about like where all this stuff is going that we're building and how you guys can cash in on the all the opportunities that are about to open up? Because there's that. Yeah. I'm really not sure where the future of music is going in a lot of ways, but I do know that the trend continues that if you're making music for screen in some way, then you can survive. Um, and all of that is just going to explode. And it has been exploding for a really, really long time, but still. It's just wild, like what's about to happen. I haven't done an Edgema stream in a long time. That's true. That's true. So, for all of you bouncing tracks out there right now, what are you doing with them? Where are you putting them? When you're releasing them, you know, like Javar, I know that you just recently did some Bandcamp stuff, right? Um, and Roku, I know you release your stuff on Bandcamp. And I know some of you others are using distribution platforms, so you get out to Spotify and Apple Music and all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, just kind of wondering what you guys are thinking about the future of where your stuff ends up, and what you want to see it do, and maybe how you're thinking differently about it now as we're kind of stepping into yet another new era in our digital age with all the AI stuff coming in. I'm just so curious to hear what, you know, all the feelings, all the good and the bad. Hey, Agnos is doing work with a small label, doing a 50 tape run. Drummy has been hoarding. I still think that you could totally make a 24/7 radio station on YouTube and people would tune into it, and you could just continually add new tracks to that playlist and just keep it going. Hmm. Okay. So Jafar has put stuff up onto Bandcamp pretty steadily now. No one's seen it yet. Still trying to figure out the sound for Q angle. Still DPM. Still don't have the connections. Yeah, so I think that part of it is putting it into a marketplace. If you're not sure how to get it into other places, um, start with that. Start with establishing a portfolio somewhere where a person could hit purchase, and then use that in a YouTube video or a commercial or a radio ad or a podcast or whatever. There's different licenses for different things. Um, there are also a lot of different types of content that you can be making. So if you're producing music, you have an opportunity to um, think about how your music could be packaged in different ways for different purposes. Um, if you make music with vocals, for instance, what happens if you strip away the vocals and tame the beat a little bit? Does it become a bit more supportive? Like, would it be a good background music for a radio show? Or if you were to make a 30-second loop of, uh, one of the most hyped parts of your songs, would it be a really good, energetic summertime campaign for a brand like XYZ, a lemonade company or Taco Bell or something, right? Or if you make deep and cinematic stuff, um, how many different components make up your deep cinematic stuff? Can you stem out your tracks in different ways and maybe feature just textures and drones in one version, a full mix in another version, one that's mostly just the rhythmic elements with some filter play on it in another version, and then package those things together? Um, it's really about how people digest your stuff. And if you're making music for people's ear holes, and that's it, like you're hoping that they're going to stream on Spotify or Bandcamp or something, that's one thing. And it really only ever gets you so far, for the most part. And then there's the world in which your stuff is actually being used in other projects, and that's where it really gets disseminated, right? Like that's where people are actually being introduced to new names or new music in ways that are sticky, because there's a totally different thing being attached to it, right? If it's in a film, there's all sorts of emotional stuff in the film, and um, if it's event oriented or like seasonal oriented or something like that, there's all sorts of like life memory stuff associated with those things, and those things start to kind of take off. You feel called out. Tape run on Bandcamp. Have you done that before? I'm curious. Roku needs big money to hire orchestras. Whew. Oh, man. Archaeota Crafts, welcome in, by the way. Yeah, Indremia, if you had a live stream running, just a 24/7 radio station on YouTube, people would randomly find you because it would all be based upon the keywords, right, and the description that you've written for your channel. So over time, you can kind of hone that, right? And it's going to draw different people in, but you could absolutely use keywords like sci-fi soundtrack and Stanley Kubrick, that kind of stuff, and get some folks in that would probably really dig just zoning out on your music for a while. Probably be the easiest route to get new ears on your stuff without having to put forth any other effort. Martin, your music, specifically with the vocals and the original stuff, is it's like so valuable, so valuable, because if a song picks up momentum and it gets popular, then brands want to align with it, especially upbeat, feel good, like soulful, happy, potential rich kind of vibes. And I can think of many different moments in your stuff, especially around transitions, where there's some feels where I'm like, oh yeah, that right there. I can absolutely see someone grabbing that. Oh, Paul's going to do some broadcasting on Twitch. Yes. Dremia enjoys making and hates releasing. Yeah, exactly, Javar. Bandcamp is the first step. The second step is getting all that stuff up. Um, Maybe onto SoundCloud as well, and then building a couple of playlists that curate that content into some kind of specific buckets, and then you can use those playlists as the links that you drop in a message to like a library that you want to approach, or if you're going to pitch one of these subscription services, like, hey, I have 50 tracks and I'm on track to produce approximately 50 a year, or whatever it is, and looking to partner up with someone. That's the type of scenario. Sorry, still foggy brain. Scenario that you would use, like the SoundCloud link over the Bandcamp thing, and then the next step would obviously be just establishing yourself in a marketplace somewhere. I think that's when things start to happen, because your validation occurs at that point, right? And royalty free has kind of become a stepping stone for a lot of people. Some people find ways to be really savvy with the whole thing and stay in pocket the whole time, right? Just kind of stay in their lane, stay original, and they kind of innovate in their own way, and they build a massive following, and a lot of repeat business, because they've established a sound, and that sound has found success in multiple brands' campaigns, and so therefore it becomes a trusted brand of its own. And then it becomes easy to start making bigger plays, because at that point, like, you've gained so much momentum in building this business and building your portfolio that you have a massive amount of stuff, and now you can do something now. You know what I mean? Like, before it was, hey, I'm producing dozens of tracks, but after several years, you're like, hey, I've got 1,000 tracks. That's significant. Like, I could sell my library to Sony, or Universal, or United Artists, or something like that, right? You can think of your stuff in a different way. You could start your own subscription service. You know what I'm saying? You could become a significant percentage of the overall library of one of these subscription models, which would be a big power play, right? Because your payout in a lot of these systems is based upon the usage of your stuff. So when you're selling a lot of stuff, when a lot of people are using your files, you're doing all right. Saf, yeah. Feel like I should release more consistent music and also take the sounds and sell them as a sound. No wonder I spend a whole bunch of time on the tunes. I want to find a happy accident for sound design. Yeah, it's also important just to figure out what it is that you want to be doing each day. And if making the sounds is ultimately more enjoyable than making the music, then just weight everything, like lean into that and produce, like make 80% of your production time sounds, and make that 20% of time that you spend on music just playtime. like just finding some joy in putting all of those pieces together or something like that. But your main focus then becomes the production of sounds, right? Long term, you're finding ways in which you can use those sounds yourself to repurpose them and get more mileage out of them. But you've basically decided at that point that you're a sound guy, not a music guy, predominantly, right? For this period of time, anyway. And you just release that stuff as you're producing it, and your life becomes really easy because you don't have to go through all the processes of getting an entire track done, right? So you can spend a whole bunch of time on just drones or just pulses or just atmospheres or whatever. Just kind of hone your skills and build a following for a niche that you're filling, Scruffy, I am there with you, man. Yeah, all this talk of, like we have all these tools to simplify processes, to like templatize our world and streamline workflows and stuff. And me, I still 9 out of 10 times, maybe more, I just want an empty DAW. I want a blank canvas, and I want to know what's going to happen next. Roku says, in media composition, you get hired for your skill set. In the entertainment side of things, it's all about being recognized and pushing yourself up front. Arcada Crafts, I'm still catching up on the chat here. I guess I'm blabbing. I'm doing all right. I'm still recuperating after COVID, hence the no feedback today. Jafar says, I need to get hooked up with people that work with RPG background music. Okay, so here's what you do. Well, you're in the Seattle area, so there's obviously going to be some people doing the same exact thing. But I will speak to the Portland area because it's where I am, and I know that this scenario plays itself out again and again and again. There are local meetup groups. There are independent game making guilds that exist. There are also schools that have programs dedicated to game development, but not sound design. And what you do is you literally just go in and meet people, and you just show up, and you will be the only one, and they will know who you are, and they may not need sound in that moment, and as soon as they do, which will probably be later that month because they're students and they're making projects, or they're indies and they need help because they have low budgets, then you swoop in and you do it. And it's a lot of it feels like loose and unorganized, and it's fine. But you're going to get yourself either a credit line or something that you can add to a demo reel, and that's really all that matters from that exchange in that moment. If they continue making projects, they're going to reach out to you again because they don't know anybody else in that space, right? And you are the guy that keeps showing up. So this is the way that you build those initial relationships. We're not going to say any names. Martin has just had a conversation with a label, right? The conversation is where it starts. The conversation actually started a while ago, but the outcome was, well, it's not really the right match. But that changed over time because he kept the conversation going. Once the conversation begins, you are in. It is now a matter of time. If you're going to persist and be in hot pursuit of your passion and want to grow your stuff, you're going to improve over time. And if you are engaged in a conversation with a label or a library or something, right, and they can articulate to you what needs to be different for your stuff to be in perfect alignment, then all you have to do is make those adjustments. And that's a very small step when you really think about it. Like, out of all of the things, right, learning how to make music and play instruments and all of this stuff that got you to that point, the making adjustments to something that you've made is such a small step. And it's great. So all you do is, like what Javar and Andremia and everyone else is saying, It's like I've been amassing stuff. But as soon as you start uploading stuff and then handing, a USB drive or sending a link or something to someone, that's when it actually starts to do something. Because you're not trying to get someone to listen to your sounds on Bandcamp or Spotify. You're engaging with entirely different people, and those people are motivated because it's their business. It's what they do. Terrence Mitchell's here. How you doing, Terrence? How you doing, man? Happy Friday. Andy says, I get great feedback on my music, but often I wonder how genuine the feedback is. If I hear a song I like, I look for the artist. If I like a few songs I follow, I get no listens, follows, I don't know. Releasing just makes me feel terrible because I don't get any response to it, so whatever. Yeah, I think this is a shouting into the void outcome, right? If you say something to the same 12 people on a pretty regular basis, then that stops ringing in their ears and you're not getting any action from those people. So you have to get out of that vacuum. And the best way to do that is just to hand it to someone that they're going to benefit in some way for getting ears on that music. Whether it's some kind of in-kind exchange or a split of profits. Either way, it's getting you what you want and what you didn't have before, and it's only beneficial. And if you don't want to involve other people, then do the turnkey approach. Do the YouTube radio thing, because eventually keywords and search algorithms play in your favor. And you don't have to involve humans, and you don't have to set it up again. All you have to do is when you bounce a track, you just upload it to that playlist and walk away from it and never do anything with it again. And over time, over the years, what that ends up translating to is probably like 13 cents that first year, right, in ads or whatever on YouTube. And the second year, maybe it's like, I don't know, $3 or $7 or something like that. And then the next year it's like a few hundred or something. There's these weird leaps because it's just how growth tends to work, as long as you're paying attention to your keywords and stuff. Scruffy Rico says, for me, so long as Chris and Roku are happy with it, job done. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I write and release so quickly, and I don't really go back and check on much. And I feel like it's kind of the healthiest thing for me. Agno says, I did a DJ mix for a show I played a few months back and threw it on YouTube, and it's well over 100,000 views now. Gonna record and post another one this weekend and tease a single from my EP on it. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it, because you're right. Maybe 5 people will watch it one day or whatever. That's fine. But it's the cumulative growth and the momentum that starts to affect it over time that everything will get views in time. Javar says, this is why I'm working 3 jobs now. Roku says, in Drumia, I'd say for you is to get someone to do the releasing for you and set a game plan. Not everyone is made for the business side of things, and it's a good thing to recognize that of yourself. There's plenty of people that are happy to work with you, but you have to get active looking for the right people that can support you. Agnos, have a great class, homie. Dave's here. Rip Boy in the chat. How you doing, man? Oh no, Heidi is not feeling well. Anybody have stomach remedies? Super plate. Super plate. Let's go find it. Super plate. Do I have it? Let me, whoa, that's huge on the other screen. Hold on a second. There we go. Get into my account really quick. Which one is it, though? Man, it's always the same thing. I can't remember. Let me just do it this way, maybe? Because I can access my account from these, right? I think. Sound Toys account. Sound Toys, how can your website not, how can your account not be protected? That's not okay. Oh, expired certificate. Yes, I would like to visit the website, please. Please, just let me visit. Wow. Man, I'll tell you what, Safari, not my favorite browser in the world, but I use it for reasons. They really want to protect you. Please request a new password. Can I make a new one? There we go. And can we use that same one? Yeah, there we go. Send email verification. Man, SoundToys is like locked down. All right, let me go and find my email account for that. So many email accounts. SoundToys. Yes, I would like to verify. Please let me in. My email's been verified. Incorrect password. What? Wait. Do this. All right, here we go. SoundToys has officially got one of the most secure little processes here. That's amazing. Okay, so I've got the full thing. Let's see. It is in the bundle, and I am. Is there anything private on here? No, I don't think so. 5.3. Oh, I see. So I need to update. Okay. There it is. Okay. Downloads. That took a moment. Apparently, I haven't logged into my SoundToys account for a little while. All right. Well, we'll have it in a couple of minutes. How many of you are already playing with Superplate? Oh, Indremia, don't feel like releasing stuff has anything to do with having to have a face, because that's not part of it. You don't have to, there's no expectation for touring or any of that. Releasing stuff is just uploading stuff to places nowadays, and that's all. That's it. Heidi, you are taking off. Take care, Heidi. And also, don't feel like anyone that is releasing music for you needs to know anything about you, period. They don't need to know anything about your health, whether you are in fantastic health or not. None of that stuff. Yeah. Martin, you know what? That's a great idea. Maybe we should just have you on the show. You could do a little clinic on what you do. You could kind of talk through your stuff in real time. People could hear your voice in real time, talking through it. We could look at your examples and people could kind of wrap their minds around it, so it's not quite as abstract. Reigns Phoenix says, I find many who getting more followers is throwing stuff up on TikTok. That's the way it is. Old Dome, welcome in. Doing all right. I have limited hearing right now post-COVID, so until my hearing returns, I'm not doing feedback streams. So we're just kind of chilling right now. Listening to some of the tunes that I've made over the past week or two while in my weird hearing state. Yeah, I agree with that, Martin. I also think having a partner in crime is great. You know, like, Andy, you make a lot of really good stuff. You could hand it off to someone that could handle, like, the mastering and the uploading for you. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably find just, like, a partner that loves your stuff. Because what you want out of that whole relationship is so flippin' minimal, man. Like, so... Seriously, like it would be good. It'd be good just to find someone to do that. And you know, I don't enjoy it at all, Andy. I am right there with you. I hand stuff off, man. Seriously, like, I mean, I do all my own stuff when I'm releasing stuff, and I haven't released stuff in forever. Like, it's just not, the process of it all is not what I enjoy. So I fully am aligned with you. And managing all of the different platforms and stuff, I don't want that either. I think it's part of why I'm trying to streamline so much of this with the new platform that's being built and stuff. It's like, it's just, that stuff is, it shouldn't, it's just, you know? I'd so much rather be making noise. Ben is here. Sup. It is whatever. Yeah. I do have the bundle. I think it's probably done downloading. I can probably go look now. It is. Now I'm gonna have to install it again, which means we're gonna sit here. Here, let's pause this. We'll just save this. This is what, the 19th. We can come back to our music if we want it. So it's 5:19. And this was some underscore listening. And we'll save that. We're going to quit out of Logic. We're going to install Superplate, and we're going to come right back to it. And, oh, and in the meantime, what's this? Orbital Maneuver. Okay, you guys can listen to this while we install the new Superplate. All right. Let's see here. I wonder if this is going to crash ADD while I do it. So many things will right now. It's so very fragile in its pre-beta state. sure you want to give full control to Sound Toys? Yes, give full control. We trust Sound Toys. All hail Sound Toys. Installing Sound Toys. It says 3 minutes. It's not going to be 3 minutes. It's not going to be 2 minutes either. None of the install or download times are correct when you have like 80 gigs of RAM. It's all just fast. This is true. What Martin is saying, getting yourself into playlists is it's important. It's a thing. I'm gonna launch Logic. Let's see if this crashes ADD every once in a while. What genre do I make? Instrumental? Experimental, I guess? Apparently not experimental enough. Indremia, it's because you love making music, man. Andy. It gets lonely sometimes, but that's fine. I look at cats on TikTok. Hey, it was just enough time. Look at that. We listened to one track, and now we're back in Logic. All right, so we were about to listen to what a new plugin can do. Sound Toys, right? Wait, I'm still not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? Why? 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 Tell me why. Is it just supposed to show up for you? Yes, Martin, it does. It trashes the previous version because it's part of the install. The install package will basically replace the pre-existing file in the library. Oh, Dave. Happy Friday. And he says, yeah, I guess I make granular music. That's not experimental or non-experimental. I mostly just float between a star and a dust cloud. No one's really here, but that's okay. Sounds are friendly, though. Sounds have always been there for me. Sounds make me smile sometimes. Oh, yeah. Love Mac. Right, Martin? Right? It's good over here, right? Hey, Danny's here. I'm Imaginate in the chat. Follow him. Give Imaginate a follow. He's got even more new stuff coming. Oh, dude. Gonna hook up the Apollo. All right, so why is... Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that bit of feedback from Roku. You thought it wasn't going to be a Feedback Friday, and then Danny comes in and gets some feedback. Andy doesn't have a Mac on his home planet, which sucks. You would think that Apple would be there by now, you know? Freaking distribution problems, man. Intergalactic distribution problems. It's probably like a licensing thing or something. Okay, so why isn't Superplate showing up for me? What's going on here? Why? Yeah. Let me go back to my my account here. Okay, so back in my account. Oh, wait, it's saying my iLock is not verified. How is that even possible? How am I able to use all my stuff? Click to verify. Verification email. Okay, well, let me go just click on the email. I swear, Sound Toys is the most locked down thing. It's amazing. Give me my email. Give me my email. Where's my background music, please? We were past this, I think. Or were we? We're here, maybe? Or... maybe we were more like here. All right, so where is this email, Sound Toys? Come on. I want to play with the thing. Come on. I want to play with the thing. Oh my goodness. Seriously. How long is it going to take to get my iLock verification? I know, I can open up my iLock. So many moving parts. Come on, Sound Toys. All right. I'm going to sign in here again. Sound Toys, locked. NFR, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. It says we're all good. Cloud. iMac. I don't know why I don't see Superplate. I want to play with Superplate, but I can't get Superplate. Oh my gosh. Steinberg lock. I did restart. Sound Toys, the most cracked plugin. Is it? This is they send it to me, so I don't have to go through all of those steps. Danny, you were featured on Forbes. Dude, seriously, Andy, this is why I don't use a lot of the plugins that I have and don't use, because I don't like hoops either. It's silly to me that I can have all of this stuff and I can't touch it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess I'm not going to play with Superplate right now. So I have Little Plate loaded on this. It's actually running. So all of that was going through extra reverb. Did it sound better? Let's add a really long decay and see what happens on this thing. Just turns into all ambience. This is just wet. It's a 32-second decay. Full wet mix. Martin, I do. It's just a matter of the right kinds of subtle manipulation. Taking out that low end there. How important are visuals for songs, videos on YouTube and such? Indremia, do you ever listen to YouTube like 24-hour stations? Like just go on and just hit play and listen? It's like more often than not, I feel like people are not looking at that. And when there is a visual, it's just album art. It's not like it's like Spotify, you know what I mean? You're not really focused on that. You, however, do have a lot of really great graphics, and you could have like a little slideshow that just loops, as you're playing through stuff. It'd be great. It'd be great. You watch Mandalorian? Or the spin-off Andor. There's at the end, how wow, this is getting loud. At the end, how they have the like sketch stuff. They got like this little slideshow montage of like all the art. I mean, that would totally crush, man. Your stuff, even just like the sketchy, like just the rough outline type stuff is so entertaining to people. Once they've gone down the rabbit hole with an artist or a character or something like that, it's like, give me anything. I would look at a rough sketch on a crumpled up napkin. You know what I mean? People love just the extraneous fodder of it all, Little Plate always does sound good, though. Now I'm bummed that I can't play with Super Plate right this very moment. Danny, I would endorse Roku's comments here entirely. UVI Falcon is amazing. It's amazing. Right. I forget I'm rich. Yeah, I love that. Andremia, what is professional anyway? What do you guys think? Should there just be like a washed out version of each track? Like, I'm kind of contemplating this right now. I know that sounds a little weird, but this is a documentary collection, right? Documentary music collection. So washing out so many of those details makes this even more like supportive background stuff, huh? Oh, Martin. Woo. Happy Friday. Yes, reverb does equals soundscape. Love it. Oh, Roku DM'd a track, and I've been sleeping on it. So I hit stop already. It's going to take half a minute for that to resolve. I'm going to go find my DM really quick while that does its thing. 32 seconds later. To the Go machine. Roku made something. It's a collaboration. Let's listen to this. Oh man, this isn't even 5 minutes long. Roku, are you okay? Are you feeling okay over there? It's because it's a collab, huh? I'm just checking in with you and making sure everything's okay. That's just sub 5 minutes. Oops, I just worry a little bit, you know. Oh, it's only the first section. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Okay. I was just checking in, homie. Just, you know, a wellness check. I'm here for you. God, I love these tracks too. Right? Right, Dave? I know I say it all the time, but me listening to Roku is like going to church. Sometimes I take Roku with me and my stuff, and I'll just put like. I wasn't expecting vocals. Now I'm just rude.
Never mind the distance, just see your face. My phone rings and I think they're calling me home. But if it's not you, I'd rather just be alone. I know these feelings will never change. I can't picture anyone else, not anyone else but you. The not enough can't measure up. What am I gonna do with anyone else but you? Anyone else but you. Anyone else but you. Anyone else, anyone else, anyone else. Can't picture, can't
Oh, oh, love that little hesitation. I'm starting, you guys, I'm starting to get some frequencies back on this side here. Heidi's back, y'all. It's lovely. Oh, these transitions. Yo, artist formerly known as Commander Rokusai. Heidi hated it. It's just fucking lovely, man. For those that missed it, this is just the first section, so don't feel like we lost Rokusai halfway through that song or something. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Never mix while you're still writing. Martin says, I will remix this. Let's all remix this. Everybody solo. Dude, Roku, that's awesome. Seriously. Like, that was so good. Scruffy Rico, you do have 20 years to get that good. How about that? I'm kind of obsessing over the 32-second decay little plate mix right now. Who else is feeling this? I'm going to click over to this orbital maneuver track that I did. Although the guitars on this one are probably going to feel pretty creamy, huh? Oh, listen to them. I'm going to turn this up for us a little bit. But yeah, easy fix. Roku nails it right there. Just sell your kids and wife, and then you have cash and time. And he holds up a sign looking for wife and kids. Look at that. Another happy internet swamp. Mail order bride. Oh boy, don't click that link. Do not click that link. You just need to buy a Rokusai implant. It'd be better if there was like a Rokusai augmented reality though, right? So you could just like, you know, you're walking down the street and you're like, man, this place is just so uninspiring and kind of awful. And then, you know, you put on your Roku glasses and you're like, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. I feel like I'm floating because everything is vibrating at like just the right frequency right now. And everything is just like vivid and lovely. Each time you turn left, there's like this wicked transition that you didn't expect. It's awesome. Whoa, did you guys hear the crossfade between that wailing guitar and that like surging synth rise and hit into this soup? My goodness. Oh my goodness. Sound soup is good soup. You did hear it at an angle. Martin, you are on fire today, my friend. So how many stems have you bounced in the last, say, 7 days, Martin? I can guarantee you have bounced more stems than me in this past week. That may not always be true. Oftentimes probably is not, but this week, whatever that number is, you wailed on me. Pre-COVID deafness. Yo, I just knocked out another 200 tracks today. Like this, these sounds are just falling out of me after COVID deafness. I can't hear the world, and I don't trust anything I'm making. 314 stems in one day. In 1 week. Now see, if you were using Audio Design Desk, that would have been 314 a day, bro. Just kidding. It would be way more. Yes, Javar. Yes. I love this. Can I order one? Roku. Oh, man. 314 stems for 2 collabs. It's a lot. I'm just gonna say it's a lot. It's more than a little. That. Windows is not good enough for them. Oh no, we're not gonna start that noise. Oh no, that's not why. That's not why we don't have Windows. It's actually far more simple than that as to why we do not have Windows. It's because Mac is highly superior. No, I'm just kidding. It's because it's all written in Swift. No, it's true. It's true. Martin's average project size is from 60 to 90 stems. Yeah, no, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. There are reasons for this. I'm sure you could probably think for about 3.5 seconds and figure out half of them. Okay, so yeah, Roku, you see the path forward, right? You do. You see a path forward. Because Chris is a snob.
Highly superior.
Yeah, no, I'm not writing that code. Yeah, it will. It will. It will, Martin. There's some ideas, and there's also some web tools that we've been developing over the last year that are pretty great. I don't know. It's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of moving pieces to the bigger puzzle that's being built. And the Mac platform is like so flippin' dependable. It's why it's in all of the studios, right? It's just the same reason why all the design houses use it too, right? There's just this stability factor component to it anyway. There will be Windows stuff. Yeah, we do. We do need to do a call for Maker. Need someone to do front end? Martin, this is your wheelhouse, right? Because you guys know me, I like to pull from the community first. I do have a very short list that I have built. Yeah. Can you do me a favor? I've just been operating under the assumption that your impeccable taste that shines through in your music would just be parlayed directly into everything design and development related, but you are React. Okay, yeah. So there will be a conversation. There will be a conversation about that, because there is already in the works certain things being built in React. Yeah, there's just a lot of different products right now. It's just a lot of different products. Is really what it is. I will hit you up. I will. It's going to be post funding. There's a short list of folks. I'm not shy about it either. I mean, Tom is on that list. Iggy. I want Iggy. He's like a top tier, you guys. Top tier. I'm not joking about this. Martin, I have a feeling that you have some pretty impeccable standards. Dude, seriously, the little plate 32-second delay or decay is just sounding so good on all of these tracks. I'm feeling like I kind of want to put out a washed out version of each one of these tracks. Well, I do love your work ethic as well, sir. I think it's part of the way that I've built such really good teams over the years out of the communities is that I've built up is because people stick around for a long time, and you get to know a lot about a person's integrity in that period of time. You get to see how they handle themselves over time, and that's like everything, right? So when you do finally actually get to start working with them, man. Yeah, Roku. Yeah, right. That's really it. That's really it. Yeah, there haven't been too many projects over the years where I've started to dig in and had started having those feelings of like, this is going to take over. Like this is going, I'm going to allow this to take over. Because there's so many good things. There's so many good things that you could be working on, right? And I've had like really such a honor to work on so many awesome different things, like start up so many different things. And getting into this was, I don't know, biggest no-brainer of them all, you know? Oh, Andy. It's really wild just how quickly AI started to make an impact in so many different areas. There's these checkers that you can run pretty much anything through right now, content checkers, to see how it ranks on the AI scale, right? On the generative scale. And you can pretty much know with pretty good accuracy to what degree something was generated by AI. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. There's been so many things that have come across my desk lately, and I'm like, I copy it and I put it up into a checker, and I'm like, oh, this whole thing was entirely generated. Okay. All right. Roku's got his third eye wide open. There's absolutely the feel of the public domain knowledge that is sprinkled heavily throughout all of the content that I've found. Yeah, we're powering all sorts of stuff through ChatGPT. Like everything good that's like turnkey service related on any of these websites, ours or anyone else's, is powered through APIs, and nobody's doing it alone. And it's just the way it is. Hey, Javar, yeah, man, you got something new? Because I would listen to it. Roku, I am so happy to let you know that I was hearing some of those little lovely arps on the left when we were listening to your track. And that made me feel so good, because that was not possible previously. Yeah, you know, it's really interesting just what things are being disrupted right now by AI, and in what ways, and in which ways are the best minds in these spaces, how are they choosing to engage with it? And it's so, I don't know, it feels really good right now to be hearing consistently from everyone as they're checking all of our stuff out behind the scenes here with us, that everything is being handled in just the right ways, and it's all super impressive, and it's just giving me all sorts of really good, stable feelings in all of this. And so many other things feel so unstable and uncertain. I don't know. It gives me a fair bit of hope for this side of our industry and how we're going to see a lot of this stuff shake out. There's going to be a lot of stuff that seems auto-magical soon. And I really hope that it does play out that we are empowering people, not debilitating people's livelihoods. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I hear you loud and clear, all of the, like Roku saying, like, I gotta be completely aligned if I'm gonna dig in with a company. Yeah, I feel that. But I feel like, here's the thing about AI, though, is that to have this kind of global impact, you used to have just an army of people to get it done. And it's not a bad thing to include so many people. And also, at the same time, imagine the implications of a small, like, crack ninja squad like ours, which is like maybe like a dozen people. And my vision is to expand that to be like maybe a couple dozen people, and that's all. You know what I mean? Like, and that's all. And then have the rest of everything be community. And I feel like there is something so much better about all of that. That's where I feel like the AI stuff is incredible. Yeah, there you go. British Telecom just replaced 10,000 call center staff with bots. So there you go. It has played out again and again and again, and there have been big groups of people that have been laid off. And I remember this happening a bunch of different times in the tech industry as the landscape was shifting. Like, as we moved from tape to CD, for instance, and as we moved from CD to digital, like, there were so many people displaced. And when you talk about like in the computer world, like, we're surrounded by tech companies here, and there used to be so many more campuses, right? Like Fujitsu and Epson and Mentor Graphics and all these folks were really, really, really big players alongside Intel. And now you look at it and it's like, man, oof, the landscape is just very different. And there were tens of thousands of folks involved in all of that. So each time that played out. I feel like this thing just kind of happens. Like, when you're in the technology landscape, there's like kind of a constant redistribution of power each time there's a shift in the landscape. Javar's going to upload something for us to music, for us to music to listen to. Dremia, but probably overcomplicating things, because why wouldn't I? Are you sure you're not a little bit human, Dremia? Because you are prone to complicating. Makes me, maybe you are just a little bit human. Yes, Danny, that's what I'm talking about. So Danny, I'm imagining in the chat, says, if there is a way I can automatically cut the time of listening to the Foley samples I overcompress and completely obliterated purposefully to make full-sounding Foley drum loops, I'd be a happy camper. Yeah, exactly. Like, what's wrong with me selecting all in a timeline, right? And with a keystroke, analyzing and knowing the LUFS values of everything. It could be 800 regions in my window. And boom, just like that, I now know all of that. And then what's wrong with me just with another keystroke, auto-mixing everything in there, like automatically adjusting the levels of the individual regions so they become aligned to the type of balance that I seek. Right? Now, one could argue, like, that just took away a whole lot of work for a mixer. And I would argue that that person is probably not doing that work and is worried about something else because of some like confidence stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean that like in a bad way, like a mean way. I just feel like, man, I do that stuff all the time. It's the most tedious stuff in the world. Like, why would you want to spend more time doing that? It just makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. So I feel like a lot of the arguments around this stuff is just like, man. Yeah, don't automatically generate the same music that I'm about to generate myself as a human. I guess that's the concern. Or don't generate anything that could just simply replace the stuff that I was about to make and sell. Like, that's a valid concern. I feel like, man, if you're going to be so concerned about all of that, you're never going to take the time to figure out how to use these tools to benefit you and stay ahead of everything. Yeah, Indremia, that's kind of the power of it. Like, right, ChatGPT, OpenAI, is making billions with inspired content. I feel like everyone's doing it. Like, since the dawn of man. Martin, down to listen to what on stream? Wait, did I miss something? Do you have a... Oh, you got a dope country song. Is it a copyright? John Denver. Firefly's great. Yeah, Danny, right? You've listened to just ear-destroying noise for many, many hours to do the work. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Gotta scale that stuff, and it's hard. We should have more just chatting sessions like this, huh? It is nice. It is nice to just sit and chill with y'all. Well, there you go. Danny, see, now you're kind of thinking in the same direction that I'm already building. Danny's saying something to smart adjust the envelopes according to drum instrument. Yeah. So here, I'm all about disclosure and transparency, right? So here's how I've circumnavigated these things. There's a family tree of sounds. There's a hierarchy to it all. And pretty much regardless of what kind of music or soundscape you're making, there's sort of a pre-existing intention or function attached to each one of those element types. Okay, hear me out. A riser is intended to create tension, right? A hit is meant to provide impact and to provide accent, right? And to be emotionally triggering. A drone is meant to do just that, to drone on, to sustain, right? And to create a bed of sorts. An atmosphere sits above things, right? It's airy, it's something that sits above the bed. And there's a pulse, right? Which is a repetitive, constant right? That provides some sort of heartbeat to something, which is different than a rhythmic element, right? A rhythmic element, it's got groove, and it's probably multi-timbral or multi-instrumental, and it's got some corresponding components to it, right, to keep the whole thing going. A chord, right? A line versus a lead and an arp, and how that functions in a mix. So all of these different things, right? And then when you zoom out even more from all of that music and soundtrack kind of stuff, you've got, this conversation about diegetic and non-diegetic sounds. So now you're talking about recorded bits of sounds, commonly referred to as Foley, right? And sound effects and ambience, which is like recorded environmental sounds, right? All of these different things, vocalizations, all of these different things, they all kind of have an intended function in the greater mix. So once you understand its kind of place in general, then what you can do is you can start to assign a range of or parameters to it which operate within a range. And LUFS is a really good example of how you can really drill down into the intention of something, right? Not looking at decibels, just the perceived loudness of it all. And if you're now going to give rank and order and prioritization in a range of depth and functionality for each one of the sound types and subtypes in this family tree, now the system is aware of what is inside of it. And if everything is being bounced to a pretty typical loudness level, that means there's going to be a great deal of mixing that needs to be done when you bring all of these sounds together and allow them to kind of cooperate in a timeline. So with all of that information known, it's actually quite easy to say, auto mix this to mix style A. And mix style A, I've kind of predestined to be more sound design emphasized, right? Leaning more into the sound design and less into the sound effects or something, right? Diegetic versus non-diegetic or whatever. So anyway, you kind of create these different schemes, and the different schemes, all they do is correlate back to those, to just that one parameter, just the LUFS, and then the range in which you can operate within and maintain the expected or intended balance of the overall soundscape. And those expectations, those standards, are really just kind of based upon our wandering through the world and assessing and judging things as we're wandering through the world. Right? We understand what normal is or abnormal is because abnormal deviates from the quantitative average of everything that we've experienced thus far. So we feel like the sound of something is too loud in a mix when it's deviating from those norms. It's really, really simple. So it's really just about drilling down into information, understanding the information, and then applying the information to functional, executable, simple little tasks that largely consume the majority of your time in the overall day-to-day operations of all of these things. Oh, Javar, I want to hear something new from you. We're going to do that. Dremia says, I was a human, accidentally teleported to the future with a time traveler from the future. I didn't have the required suit. My body was ravaged and nearly destroyed. They salvaged parts of my brain. Due to the time continuum rules, they have to save me since it was an accident. My brain was set into a robot body, and in time, all my cells were replaced by synthetic cells, although now technically an android, my memories are still human. All right, so that explains a lot. So yeah, prone to overcomplication and probably like moods and like favorites and dislikes and stuff like that. Roku says, or like automatically assigning MIDI knobs to know all used automation lanes. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes a template is not enough. Sometimes it's better to just not even have that kind of a thought of like, oh, we need these massive templates. Instead, let's just make things aware of what each other are. And then you can start to have a bit more interplay between those things. Danny says, AI can only do what it knows and is told. That's the saving grace for creativity, in my opinion. Yes, Rokusai, it is tedious to make an autoload and keep it up to date. Let's do this. Non-copyright sounds. Okay, so this drone, Saf, that you're asking about, is actually not a drone. If I turn off the reverb, it's this. This is why I'm contemplating just making a companion track for all of these. Put a 32-second decay late verb on each one of these. Treat them just slightly, right? Just to tease out a little extra sauciness, maybe a little saturation here and there, maybe a little filter here and there. But no, this is nothing. None of this is from the Dark Pack. All of the sounds that made these tracks came from everything that we've poured into the Audio Design Desk library over the past couple of years. That's all it is. It's just music being conjured from pre-existing samples that we've put into the engine. I mean, I'm triggering it all. I'm arranging it all. Sonarchy. So if you turn back on the reverb, though, like this is like a little adventure, like nature research kind of documentary track. And now, yeah, like I'm not a big fan of the drums being washed out so much on this, so I'd probably put like a little filter action on this, take that top off. Spaceball. All right, let's listen to this thing that Javar made. Hit pause on this. It takes a few seconds. Oh, this is the country track, right? All right, Javar posted. Oh man, look at you guys posting amazing things to listen to, and I can't give you feedback on them. So Javar is currently playing with a lot of Arturia's augmented stuff, and this is him playing with brass, minimalist, goofing around, Scandi-Noir cue. The mountain had been quiet for generations. Then again, people hadn't been around the mountain for generations. This texture is great. Love the vibration in it. These are great. Javar, dude, if you did a whole series of these, this is good value right here. So much of your stuff, but like this right here, short form, easy to crank out. You can kind of templatize this workflow, work across keys and modes to kind of build up a decent amount of stuff. Seriously, this is really good. It's like it definitely falls into the realm of composition, but it's ambient enough. So easy to lay a pulse over the top of this. Cinematic transitions. Yeah, ultra simple is the way to do it.
Boss, get off the mountain. Get everyone off the mountain. They're awake. Can you hear me?
Yeah, exactly. Netflix ambient stuff, right? Somewhere just beyond a pad, right? It's got a lot more like emotional and cinematic depth, and texture is a fairly big component of the interest and pushing it forward. But yeah, that's basically the intention of the moments series that I've been doing, the tense moments and tender moments and this underscore series. It's like providing these music cues that aren't traditional in the sense that they're heavily reliant upon sound design and not necessarily musical elements exclusively. So baking things like transitions and pulses and stuff into the actual musical cue makes it kind of like this drag and drop thing. It's almost a complete solution for someone. Someone can add just the tiny little sprinkles on top, to make it fit their thing, and bam. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Javar. This is it. This is your workflow. Like if you were to step into this world, you could so quickly kind of dominate a space because your stuff, like you're saying, you're trying to keep it intentionally simple. This is a 3-stem project for the most part. Those 3 main stems are 3 elements. They work together. They're basically just going to be bed elements or pads, right? Depending upon how they actually operate and change over time. Then you've got these tiny little small embellishments, these little sound design embellishments, and each one of those are their own little thing. They get tagged with their own little thing, whether it be a stinger or a transition or a hit or whatever, right? As long as you're staying on top of that stuff, like you just tag your stuff at the end of each project. You just tag your stuff and save it, and boom, it's in there. And now you can press a key, and it just will grab one of those things and put it into a timeline for you. It's the best. It's the best because none of us are going to stop creating our larger works, and all of our larger works are made up of all these tiny little pieces that have to fit together. That's the magic. That's it. The only thing I have to do is be careful to not just select a preset, hold a note down, and release it as my own. I need to do something so it's not just re-releasing their stuff. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to. For this purpose, what you're talking about is fine. You're not releasing those individual elements. What you're doing is you're recording and tagging all of those individual elements. And then you're going to conjure them in incredible ways that you cannot fathom because you're not going to reach for all of them intentionally. You're just going to reach for that type of sound intentionally. Which one actually gets served up into your timeline depends upon your settings, depends upon how much control you're demanding, right? Or how loose you're allowing things to be replaced or triggered. Right, exactly. So if you were going to want to build packs for people to ingest as like a builder library, for instance, right, where you're going to introduce like 50 new drones and 50 pads and maybe 100 different transitions or something like this, right? And you're building up this big thing. It would all need to be original. But for conjuring your own stuff as a composer, now this entirely different because you can be bouncing stuff out of your augmented brass and your pad shop or whatever you want to do. That's your stuff, right? This is doing is organizing those components so you can use them again in the future. That's all that is. You're not releasing those individual components. There's a pretty stark and big difference. So you can start to get way more mileage out of this. And at the same time, you can develop like a core signature sound um, for those projects, for those endeavors. And it's really easy to start to, um, envision a future where you have multiple personas, if you will, that you operate with in a marketplace, and you're able to stay on top of it all because it's like typing. It's like you're using your QWERTY keyboard more than anything else. You already made all of your pads and your drones and your risers and your pulses and stuff. Now you get to play with those things. You start to think about things a little bit differently. You start to think about these types of sounds like you would colors. Like, ooh, you know what this needs? It's like a burnt umber bed. That's what this track needs. Or, oh, this needs little ice crystals on top. You know what I mean? You start thinking about all these things differently. Um, it's quite a like a mind bending experience, honestly, to kind of come through at the other side and realize that, man, if I had been saving and tagging everything for the past 20 years, like there would be no subscription service that could compete because producing things in a traditional way versus this way is just two completely different worlds. Yeah. All right, so Javar's saying, for instance, if I played three pads together, that makes a new sound. If I just played those three pads, then sold them separately as those three drones to be layered, then I'm back to just selling their presets. Yeah, that's the thing is you can't. And also, I would really shy away from ever including anyone else's samples or presets in stuff, because it's just such a slippery slope I mean, to sell to other people, I mean, to use in their projects. But it's very different when you're just talking about music cues that you're selling, right? Because then all of that concern goes away. Who cares what drum sample you used? It's really about what you did with it in that composition. And those are two totally different things. Happy little notes. Ambient enough. I like that. That's actually a really good name. Ambient enough. Good. It's nice just to sit and chat with you guys, not have to make a bunch of noise for a bit. Roku and Martin are right. We do need to do these more often. It's true. So, like, make one song, then take each individual track and mix it with all the other tracks. 10 songs. Kind of, yeah, that's kind of what you're hearing here. There are okay, so there's 21 tracks here. I just grabbed 21 of them and put them in here. I guarantee you, in these 21 different tracks, there are the same elements occurring in different tracks. I'm using the same sounds in some of these tracks. Even though there's over 70,000 sounds in this library, there are a few that I've put into a few of these. But you don't realize that. You don't hear it in the moment. You know what I mean? They're all uniquely different music cues, and you're not hearing those individual elements for what they are. Even though I'm not transforming them, by and large, I'm not actually stretching or transposing in most of these cues, oddly enough. And I'm not really processing them. The large majority of processing, like 99% of the processing on any of these is EQ. Because I want to take out the low end or the high end of something or the mids of something so it fits better in the mix. That's it. It's just really just layering a whole bunch of previous ideas together in new ways. Ambi fluff, ambi funk, ambi chill. Saf, yeah, and I think that is how most people are going to want to create in the future. Not everyone, just the majority of people. When you look at stuff like how people are engaging in things like, remember when Pinterest hit? You guys remember that? Like, of all of the different social platforms over the years that have popped up, there's like it's really, really simple ways to engage with ideas. That could be a record label. Can't be fluff. Correct. Indrimia, correct. So even if you have a melody in a song, I would reuse that melody in another song, same melody, different experience. You could transpose it. You could shift it to a different BPM, right? You could stretch it. You could reverse it. You could resequence it. You could just leave it as is. And so often that's what happens. When you stop and think about it, it's the same exact concept as buying a sound pack. When you buy a sound pack, you've got to realize that a lot of other people have that same exact sound and they're going to put it into their songs. That's no different. It's no different. Yeah, Javar. Yeah, just completely wash out that track. It's another track, right? It's awesome. Indremia says I can usually lay down an idea in 2 to 3 hours, not having to create each element from scratch and just adding existing elements. That's just cheating. But is it? I ask you, is it? Because if you're gonna paint something, you're not gonna crush a whole bunch of insects and rocks and minerals and roots and stuff to get the pigment extracted and then filter all of the little bits out and make all of your own paint, and you're not going to make your own canvas. You're not going to do all of these things. You're going to combine those things again and again and again from one project to the next, and they're all going to make different pictures. You're going to swirl those colors together, layer them, mix them in different ways, and they're going to show up in different ways. They're going to hit people differently. And is that cheating? Using those same colors again and again? Is it cheating using the same 12 notes again and again and not finding a precise new microtonal thing? No, I don't think it is. I think it's just a mental hurdle that we as humans put in front of ourselves and say, that's something we shouldn't do. That's something we shouldn't do. It's like, well, why? Why shouldn't we do that? Like, if I make homemade mustard or mayonnaise for the sandwich that I want on that day, does it mean that I should never use that again? Like, I should never open up that container of mustard or mayo that I made for a different sandwich? I don't know. I'm just saying, these things are apples to apples here. I'm just saying, like, we put a lot of hurdles in front of ourselves, and then we do all of this mental gymnastics around it all, and we make ourselves flippin' miserable in the process. Other people look at us and they're like, why are they so like elitist? Or why are they such purists? Or why do they have such strong opinions or feelings about this? Like, sandwich is freaking good, or this song is awesome. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Danny, there are no rules, right? If there's going to be a rule, it should probably be stop making rules that are getting in the way of doing what you want to do. Like, have you ever stopped to realize just how many of the things that are in the way of you doing what you want to do are actually being put there by you? It's amazing. Like, us humans are so good at that. It might be one of our greatest skills, actually. Okay, so Drummy says, okay, so I take my 300 songs and make some AI art, and then I release them all in the next 300 days, then remix all my tracks and make thousands of other songs, sometimes 2 to 3 songs a day. It's almost like a factory. If you stop and think about it, Indremia, that is what the music industry is. Seriously, stop and think about it. You want to know how a band goes in and tracks an album? How many takes do they do? All that stuff is sitting there. It's all recorded. It's all being brought into the projects. I think we create lines in our minds that are uncrossable for one reason or another. They're just, oh, my moral backbone will not allow me to stand across that. I will not step past that line. It's like stepping across the strike line or something. It's not, but we treat it like it is. You know what I mean? And it's just something that we do. Just something that we do. Okay, so using samples is cheating. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. If you are working in a DAW, you are doing that. Otherwise, all you would ever do is perform live. Ever. Think about it. A synth. Okay, so you make your own sounds with a synth. It's a sample that's loaded into that synth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, add a little bit of noise to the sound that I made all by myself. That noise is a recording. It's a sample, right? Oh, the vocals in this track are amazing. Well, they're recorded. I actually recorded them and then I brought them into the project and I EQ'd them and I processed them to sound this way. It took me about 3 weeks to do that work. Okay, so now you're presenting something to the world that you can't do on stage. Is that cheating? You know what I mean? There's just so many lines that we create, and then we have to kind of justify within ourselves what is and is not okay to do with our own ideas. And the world is none the wiser. The world has no idea what kind of mental gymnastics you're going through in all of this. They really don't. They really don't. It is. It is. Scruffy Rico says, damn, I overthink so much, then I get all imposter syndrome and then repeat. Hey, Alu Trick! Welcome in. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Scruffy Rico nails it. Nah, it's what you do with the samples to make them your own. That's right. Because if you're going to pull up, okay, you want to add a piano to your track? You know what? You're using a sample. Unless you're going to go out and buy a baby grand and put it in your living room or whatever, wherever you have space for this thing, right? As a bedroom producer, right? You're going to buy all these pianos, right? You're going to soundproof the space, right? And then you're going to just play live for that one moment. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're going to use a sample. You're going to use a recording. You're going to put a multi-sampled instrument in there. Someone else did that work. Someone else did the recording. Someone else played those notes. I don't know. I don't know. You and I could be using the same exact piano library. We could have paid the exact same number of pennies. We could be using the same exact DAW, the same version. We could be producing at the same minute and hour on the same day in the same room. I still can't play piano, and you can. Does that mean that what you make with the piano is better than what I make in my project with that same piano? Because if no one was watching us, who would know who was playing it and who was clicking those notes in? You know what I'm saying? So many of these conversations start to kind of fall, or sorry, so many of these constructs start to fall apart when we start to kind of shine a light on them and then ask with like a real honest voice, like, whose rule is that and why? Because to me, it kind of sounds like we're just telling ourselves that we can't do this thing when obviously we could. But it's tough. Yeah, Sav says, I don't know. I know I'm the guy who likes coming up with the idea myself rather than using a sample, but I think when you can use it and manipulate it in so many ways, right? What is the tactile game from this? Oh, Perfection, the game Perfection. Right. Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Jeremy says, my human part of me overthinks things. I currently don't have issues with creativity, coming up with things. I could make 2 songs a day easy. The art is slowing me down. The visuals are slowing me down. The image of Adremia is slowing me down. If I were to release as I create, adding this method of remixing, I could create and release 1,000 songs a year with AI art and this method. Yes, you could. And there would be absolutely nothing wrong with it. It would be the sound of Andremia. And it would be awesome because there would always be something new to listen to. It would be familiar. But you know what? If I want to spend a day listening to Led Zeppelin, all of that stuff sounds familiar. They didn't have, you know, Jimmy Page's guitar always sounded like Jimmy Page's guitar. You know what I'm saying? AC/DC sounds like AC/DC. Aerosmith sounds like Aerosmith. Well, depends on what decade you're listening to. But you know what I mean? Like, you got a sound. That's great. That's not a problem. That's great. Yeah, yeah. Daft Punk surely cheated their way to some incredible art albums. Yes, exactly. Okay, so Javar says, okay, so I just took that track, did the super reverb thing, rendered it out, and layered it over the original, and it's completely different. That's what I'm talking about, you guys. That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly, that's, and it's always been done. That's always been the way that it is. This has always been the way that it is. You might be discovering, like the breakthroughs or the thoughts or the feelings or whatever. But it's just in that moment. It's just for you in that moment. You know what I mean? Yeah, Danny, imagine where we would be. Like, my family wouldn't have eaten for so many years with the no sampling mindset. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Alutrix says, people don't realize the amount of work to make a sound and a DAW. It's as much a skill and art as practicing an instrument. Oh, it's beyond that because you also have to learn the language. You have to learn the language of music. That's a different language than English or whatever you spoke originally, right? Okay, computer. Don't forget, you have to understand how to use a computer and the operating system and all that logic. And then the DAW on top of that. Okay, sure, cool. All these other things though, right? To upload stuff, like now you have to understand SEO and keywords and search algorithms and like, come on, there's a lot. That's a lot. So absolutely I want assistance. Absolutely I want some shortcuts and streamlining of workflows and services that are turnkey. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, we all could be making so much more. And like all y'all keep pointing out, like you don't want to be caught up with all the minutia. You don't want to manage all the different freaking things. You just want to make noise. That's how I am. Yep. Yep. The grocery store is full of presets and samples, and you're eating them every day. Yep. Yeah, Seth. Now you could grow your own garlic at home and have a space that was dedicated to curing that garlic in an environment that isn't going to like introduce any fungus or anything to like no mold or anything, right? You could do that, and you could grow your own tomatoes and can them, so you could make your tomato sauce when you're wanting your garlic tomato sauce for your pasta. You could grow your own semolina wheat, right? And grow it and dry it and crack it and grind it, right? You could raise your own chickens and crack those eggs to make the pasta. Or you could just head down to the supermarket and buy a package of freaking pasta and a jar of sauce, clove of garlic. Mm. Yep, garlic turns into fried garlic, and those two ingredients are coming from two things that are actually from the store, already made, the best ingredients for the sauce. Yeah, exactly. Andremia says, making sounds is not difficult. Spending thousands of hours mastering the art of sound design to a degree of a surgeon's touch is the part that's difficult. Not everyone can nor should create their own sounds. It takes a specific type of mindset to create sound. Jafar. Gaelic garlic. It's a thing. All right, kitty cats. I should probably be productive at some point. I got a bunch of copy to write. I've got an email campaign I need to write. I need to get a SoundCloud up. I need to write a blog post. I need to record a video answering someone's questions. I need to do so many things. Got a couple of meetings. Boy, dirt is amazing, isn't it though? I mean, seriously. We talk all day about dirt. Dirt. We're talking about dirt? What am I doing wasting time with you guys? You guys are like so much more fun than getting stuff done. I mean, sometimes. Sometimes getting stuff done is a lot of fun. Andremia is going to go yell at sounds. Heidi's back, giving Big Omi hugs. Yeah, you could be playing with dirt right now. I mean, you guys are, some of you are probably tuning in on a phone or something. You could probably be playing with dirt right now. Let's drop you guys off. Oh, Liv is up. Hey, we're going to go stream, or we're going to go raid Liv. Because I love her dearly. And please show her lots of love and support. And be good to yourselves over the weekend. Stay inspired. Make awesome things. My hearing will return eventually, and I want to hear those things. So don't give up on feedback. It'll come back. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the flip. Peace out. Have a good weekend.